I really had no balance. Back in those days, I was all about business. I wore the brand on my back. I was obsessed with business. I had no hobbies. So I had a bit of a wake-up call with an EO that had come to my house one day and noticed that I was gaining weight, called me on it. I was depressed. I wasn't really having that much fun. I was in an unhappy marriage and just decided to get my shit together. That was, well, I'm 6'3.5". I was 222 pounds and I was 182 this morning. That was 14 years ago, but I've stayed around the 180 to 185 range for 7 years. I think why I was there first, I really had no balance. Back in those days, I was all about business. I wore the brand on my back. I was obsessed with business. I had no hobbies. I was that classic, well, work is my hobby. Well, the reality, nobody wanted to talk to me about my hobby, right? I was the only one who loved it that much. And I didn't have any balance. I wasn't doing anything for fun. And even if my kids described, what's your dad like or what's your dad do, all they did was talk about what I do to make money. That would never enter into the conversation today. So I had a bit of a wake-up call with an EO that had come to my house one day and noticed that I was gaining weight, called me on it. I was depressed. I wasn't really having that much fun. I was in an unhappy marriage. I was not doing anything health-wise. And just decided to get my shit together. Quit smoking, quit eating crap. I actually quit drinking 2 years ago now. I haven't had a drink in over 2 years, but I'm just trying to live a healthier, more balanced, more fun life. And now I focus on activity. So I'm just more balanced around that. And then I've actually crafted a 5-page description of what I look like, act like, and feel like 3 years in the future. I call it my vivid vision for myself. I also have one for my company, and then my wife and I have one for our marriage. But I describe me as a dad, a friend, a lover, a confidant, what I do for fun, what my vacations are like, my hobbies. And I share this 5-page description of me with anyone who wants to read it so that they can kind of help hold me accountable to that. And it also provides that real big guiding light for me too. When we were scaling 1-800-GOT-JUMP 20 plus years ago, we actually studied quantum mechanics, quantum physics. We, read the book, The Secret. We brought speakers to come into the company and talk to us about that. And we started to understand the ideas around vision and around manifestation. The phrase conceive, believe, and achieve. And when you talk in the present state, you start to feel that a lot more. So if I talk about, I am healthy, I am a good dad, I'm a good friend, I have all these great hobbies, I engage in all these activities, I do, make healthy choices. When you, instead of saying a goal, you just feel it more. And then when others read it, they also realize that is who you are. And so they start lining up with that too. We learned this concept back in 1998 from an Olympic coach. It was actually at an EO event. 120 entrepreneurs in Vancouver were inviting to this lunch and only 20 of us went. And we got to the luncheon and this high performance sports psychologist for the Canadian Olympic team was talking about visualization and looking into a crystal ball. And we thought, wow, this is going to be the worst 2 hours of our lives. We're never going to get this time back. But he kept talking about how athletes used visualization, and if they could see themselves and feel themselves performing the event, they could then act completely on instinct. And I remember when I was from my ski racing days, I raced until second year university. I raced in Canadian American Championships twice. I still have downhill courses that I can remember because I skied them so many hundreds of times in my mind. I practiced the turns. I felt what it would feel like. I felt some of the bumps and undulations. I'm sure my memory is a little bit off, but still to this day, I still think I can ski some of those courses in my mind because I can feel it. Well, if you can do that with your company or with yourself as a person, if you can feel how you show up, you tend to show up in that way. If I can feel how I'm showing up with my interactions with my 2 boys, I tend to show up in that way. But if it's a goal, then you're separated for it. You're separated from that goal a little bit because you're still focusing on the current state of wanting to get somewhere instead of anchoring into, how you feel.